What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. In this one, I'm going to be continuing to show you how to make the security breach Atrium in Minecraft. This is part 30, and in this one, we're going to be getting a lot more of the roof done. We're going to be getting these, like, blue segments done, the blue wool, along with getting the Sculk arch marked, and also all the blue terracotta crossbeams in with the lights on them. Only the lights, none of the other, like, details like that speaker thing right there. Those will be saved for probably next part, but I'm not sure. Anyway, that's all. So with that being said, enjoy the tutorial, and I will catch you on the flip side. Alright, so let's start this off. We're going to start by filling out these like outer sections that we kind of just left that I had mentioned there was the kind of thing for, the pattern or whatever. I guess it's not really a pattern. You want to just get out blue and yellow wool to start here. And so I'm going to give you two suggestions here. The first one is to not care and just fill this straight with blue wool. However, if you like the star pattern, lay out a... Now, you could do the whole thing. You could fill it all with blue wool and then punch out each individual yellow wool star. That is an option. However, I'm going to lay out like a square-ish here with blue. And I'm not going to do the whole thing. I'm going to fill most of this with blue wool myself. Because, honestly, I don't have the time for all this in the tutorial. So yeah, I mean, I do have the time, but I don't think it is logical to use the time that way, if that makes sense. But yeah, and what I would essentially do is just, again, punch out a bunch of holes where you want your yellow wool to be. The only thing is try to keep these evenly spaced and don't have more than one connecting. That would include diagonally like this. You kind of want them all to be separate. The other thing, and the reason that I consider this as the more annoying of the methods, is you have to consider, I'll just use as my example here, if you're structure blocking this and continuing it, like let's say you have, you know, a star here and here, these would end up connecting when you structure block it over. The left to right isn't as important if you're doing the full space like I am, but you basically can't rotate the structure file because of this, and you have to make sure that, you know, you're not lining up the edges, because you know there would be one here now. So you just can't have one close to that. Yeah, again, it is annoying that way, but it is what it is. And do as many or as little as you want. I did a fair amount. I tried to kind of almost keep them in this kind of like amount like I have here. Maybe have some areas where there's less, just so it's a little bit more spread out. Maybe something like, I don't know, like this or something. Yeah, I think that looks about right for at least that kind of corner of it. You could play around. I even think like doing honey blocks and having lights above them or something would look cool. Although I don't know if honey blocks, do they deload? Time to find out. I don't think they do, but I'm not sure. It would deload by the other side of the atrium. Probably. It doesn't appear that it is, but I can't tell because I still see like the glowing bits under those trees, so it's hard to tell if they've deloaded or not. But yeah, I don't think they do. And even if they did, then it doesn't matter, at least for me. But again, I'm not really feeling all this, so I am just gonna fill this flat with blue to save myself some time. But again, I would definitely recommend doing the stars if you feel like going through that effort, because I do think that they look pretty nice. As I do this, I do just want to say, hopefully everyone is having a good day or night. I am for the most part. Been dealing with some customer service, I'll just say that. To go over it briefly, I bought an animatronic part replacement, and the part came broken, and the company didn't want to send me another one for free. I got it, but I did get the free one. But they were... I don't know if the person who I was talking to didn't understand that I had bought it from the website, because the way they were wording things, it seemed like they thought it was the part that came with the prop, and not an additional piece that I had bought to replace a damaged part. It technically isn't broken because I can still use it and did still use it, but you know, that's besides the point. But anyway, yeah, other than that, you know, been an average Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday. Sometimes I forget what day of the week it is. I'll give you another second to do that as I ramble here, but if you are doing all of the stars, do make sure to pause after my rambling. we're going to, as for order of operations in this part, we're going to mark the Sculk tunnel. We're not going to fill it all the way across, except for probably one part of it we will, and then we're going to start marking the cross beams and things, and just kind of go from there. So, again, if you are continuing the stars, do make sure to pause now, and come back when you're ready, which is going to be right now. So get out the following for this next step. You just need Sculk, and I think blue terracotta will be helpful. I know we're going to need it for the next step, so we might as well get it out now anyway, because I know we'll need it for a part of this. That really isn't that important, actually. So when you start these Sculk, you want to place outside of these rows of blue terracotta an additional blue terracotta, and then go up diagonally out with a Sculk like that, and then you'll start the dome. You'll see I didn't do that, so I was a little bit thin, but it technically does still work, just not the intended way. So I get ready to do the flying. You'll then extend the Sculk up by 4 on both sides. And again, just fly back and forth. It takes a little time, but it is what it is. You'll then go up diagonally in and up 3. Up diagonally in and up 2. This is gonna get real tall real quick, isn't it? Up diagonally in and up by 2 again. Up diagonally in and up 1, but you want to do that 3 times on each side in total. So you have row of 2, second row of 2, third row of 2. And you'll do that on both sides, as I just mentioned. 2 and 3, okay. Then you want to go up diagonally in by 5. And then in 1 from that top most diagonal. And then you want to go up diagonally in 1 and in 1 2 more times from that. So again, in total you should have 3 rows of 2 at the top here, because we just placed the 1 in that previous step and then we just added 2 more. You'll then go up diagonally in 1 and in by 2 twice, so you have 2 rows of 3. You then want to go up diagonally in by 1 and in 3. Up diagonally in by 1 and in 4. Almost there. Up diagonally in 1 and in by 3. And so unlike what I got in that previous clip, you should have a row of 4 blue terracotta in the center here, like so. I will extend that blue down an additional 2 rows, and yeah, if you would like, it wouldn't hurt to bring at least this bottom row of blue and then 1 up on either side, all the way along the like center of the atrium here. Just go straight back or forward or both directions until you're about in line with the end. You don't have to be perfectly in line with the end. Again, it'll go further anyway. But I just kind of want to have this here so we can use it as a reference point for some stuff later. If I forgot to mention this, if you are, because I did see some people commenting saying they were awfully close to the world height limit. If you're at the world height limit, just flatten this wherever you have to. Like, do as much as you can, and then again, the top you'll just have to make flat. I'll try not to use this line for anything as far as numbers are concerned, because I do realize some of you may have an issue with that. There's one other thing that is important to make sure you'll be able to fit. It doesn't go higher than this, obviously, but it does go like 10 blocks up maybe from the current ceiling. But we'll see when we get there how much it actually is, because I don't know off the top of my head. And so yeah, if you want to bring the Sculk now across, you absolutely can. I'm going to save that for dead last, because I just want to. The next thing you want to do is, I forgot, oh yeah, the blue terracottas we had to bring out here on the side, you do want to just kind of bring this row all the way along. Again, technically could wait on this, but I just want to get it out of the way because, you know, it sort of taunts me since I just forgot about it earlier. Anywho. And so, yeah, if you look from the outside, you have kind of this for your shaping, just if you want a reference point. You could also go taller if you really wanted. I'm realizing it's very, like, it's very short. I mean, it's not, but if you know what I mean by that, you kind of, it makes sense. Leave me alone. All right, so we're going to use the left side for all of this, and when I say the left side, I mean the side with Bonnie Ball. Do I actually want to do that? And it doesn't really matter either way. So if you take the left side here, we're going to start from the, like, front here, closer to the prize counter and elevators and stuff. And where you have this weird, like, wall bump out, you're going to be on the magenta behind it. It's not this one, like, kind of tucked behind it. It's this one, I guess, an actual, like, block to the right if you're looking at this wall. You'll count an additional 2 to the right and place off of that magenta a blue terracotta with 3 more to the right. So you can see where that lines up. You'll be able to count 3 magenta to the left before this little diagonal there. To the right of that, instead of counting, like, gaps numbers, what we're going to do instead is we're going to use certain things as our, like, guides. So if you look on this wall, you have this light gray terracotta rectangle for the Bonnie Bowl, little TV. You'll take the furthest left row of it and trace this all the way up and place a blue terracotta here and extend it right by 3. The next one, well, these are lined up very conveniently, actually. If you take the Bonnie pixel art for Bonnie Bowl itself, this guy right here, you'll take the left ear, which is his right, technically, and you'll take this inner row of light blue on it. Alternatively, if you take the center of his head and count left by 1, you'll trace this up and place a blue terracotta that is brought to the right by 3 again. Next one is not so kind. Actually, it might be so kind. Hold on. Okay, if you head all the way down to the floor and just to the right of the entrance to, again, Bonnie Bowl, you'll have this plant box here. You'll be to the left of it a singular row on this magenta, and you'll trace this all the way up and place a blue terracotta here that extends left this time by 3. We have 2 more to place. Using these sea lanterns this time, if you keep tracing along until they start to curve down, you want to be on the last sea lantern of the flat part, which is this one. You'll count left by 2, trace up, blue terracotta, 3 to the left. Again, there is one more, but it's not actually on this flat part of the wall. So if you look at these, they should be evenly spaced, hopefully. They might be a little bit off, but as far as I'm aware, they're evenly spaced. So it's good enough to me. Next one is going to be a bit strange to mark. If you head all the way to the right, this portion of the ceiling that is the blue terracotta, you'll have this, like, ledge or whatever. Not really important. But if you take the furthest right row of it off of this magenta, you'll just place blue terracotta coming out as far as you really want for now. It'll end up having to go all the way across, but I don't want to build it all the way across yet because it's just not important enough to do. Why is that one off a row? I don't think that's supposed to be that way, but it is. So you'll extend the blue up an additional 3 rows where you can, obviously. But yeah, this one is 1 block higher than the others. Just ignore it. It's fine. I just don't know. You'll take the top row of blue and you'll extend it to the right an additional 3. Again, to the extent that you can. You won't be able to for all of them, but, you know. And then whatever blocks you have left for this 3rd row, which at least has to be 1, you'll just bring down by the 3. And should give you this. Filling the bottom, not in line with the bottom, but a block up, you'll just place more blue terracotta like this. So it almost gives you, if you look from the underside, it kind of looks like a metal beam. Which it probably is, actually. If you want to do the same where you remove the top and push it in a row, it wouldn't hurt. The only thing that the only reason that I didn't is because you're so close to the ceiling here. Like, if someone's up here, why are you up here, is the question. So, before we bring all of them across, let's do some markings for them. That one is already, we don't have to deal with that one anymore, the one we just did. All the other ones, you're placing a blue terracotta down from each side. And that's really all. I don't know. One of these you won't bring across. I'll get to that in a sec. But, yeah. Essentially, you're bringing all of them across, except for the one that I mentioned, which I think is the one above the... It's above Bonnie himself for the Bonnie Bowl sign, so that one. Coincidentally, the middle of these 5. But if you take each of these and bring the blue that we've placed across, once you're clear of the blue terracotta portion of the ceiling, you'll end up, if I'm correct, you'll bring the blue terracotta up until it's 1 row shorter than the blue, or 1 row off of the blue wool, rather. Not shorter. I guess technically shorter actually is correct, but... So again, these overhanging blocks, I'll bring the blue up by, what should be 3? And then you will again fill in the top, flush or not. I didn't even think about, like, indenting them until now. But, you know. And again, the one above Bonnie here, do not touch. Leave it alone for now. We'll get to it later. But yeah, all the other ones you're going to want to bring across in this method all the way as well. That might be important. And so what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to do one of these. So I got to make sure I stay in this position, 774. And I'm hoping it'll reach. Spoiler alert, it probably won't, but, you know, that is what it is. I'll just have to live with it, I guess. Slash fill. I'm going to do this where I copy both coordinates and do it that way. Blue terracotta, keep. Oh, wow, it actually did. And I also have to add the little ends down a row myself. Yeah. Anything else or anything to say while I'm doing this? Not particularly. By the time you're seeing this, FNAF world will probably be fully done. At the time of recording this, it's almost. I just... Pinwheel Circus. That's all I need to say. I don't think I need to give further information. But yeah, that's the one thing that I'm, like, actively kind of sort of dreading. I have all of the, again, as I've mentioned, I have all the actual buildings done and stuff. I like the placing, but it's just getting the teleporters right. I have everything for Pinwheel Circus that I need. I guess I have the information that I need, rather. So that's all good, but I need to make each individual teleporter, which is fun. And when I say fun, I mean it's not fun at all. Blue terracotta keep. Yeah, nice. I'm surprised that works. Guess my simulation distance is better than I think. But I guess I'm so used to the Backrooms map where I'm trying to fill 30,000 blocks where I need to do it, but the fancy way. I guess in the grand scheme of things, the Atrium isn't that big. It's not Backrooms level big. I forgot I was gonna do something with the Backrooms map for a video today. That's good. Impressive, even. But I set myself up to... I set myself up to do a modern house tutorial after this, which I'm gonna probably end up doing instead, just because, yeah, the Backrooms stuff is a bit more of a task for that video. But I just entirely forgot that I had planned on that until right this very second. Oh wait, yeah, never mind, no, because there's another row that comes down. Don't forget when you're placing that row, especially on this particular one, that it is a bit weird. Yeah, I don't know why this one shifted higher, though. I don't know if I did that on purpose or not. I just... With me, I can never tell, you know? Like, an inconsistency like that, I would notice. That's the problem here. I would 100% notice it, and... make it like that. But at the same time, I would also just entirely misplace something, so, you know. $834. It's all on 34s, which does mean, or 4s rather, I guess not 34s, which does mean everything is spaced evenly. If that's something you notice, like all of the ones positions are the same for them, then that does mean that you're right. Generally, not always they would follow a pattern like that. I mean, they'd follow a pattern you'd be able to detect, but for me it just happened to be easy. And I guess for this build in general, actually, because even if you had, like, let's say this one was on, like, 12 or something for you, you'd still get them all ending with a 2. On at least the one side of them. And I guess if you use the other side, they'd end on 7s for me. Anyway, I think I have one more, and then that center one, which isn't really that bad. It's just a bit different, which is why I'm leaving it for last. But really not something that'll need a ton of attention, or a ton more attention at least. It just, I think it's because of the Jumbotron, it goes up a little bit, so. But yeah. It's also funny I'm at 134. All of the 4s are around today. Okay, that's wrong. There we go. And last one. And yeah, for the lights on these, I'm sorry in advance. That's all I'm gonna say. We might do them after we're done all of the markings, but I'm not sure because they're real annoying. It's not even that they're bad to make, there's just a lot of them. And they are boring. So. But I mean, I guess not the most complicated thing, but I'm like debating leaving all of the mundane stuff for the end. I don't know. Anyway, for the one that we haven't done, you are going to bring this in a specific amount, and I'll give it to you in a second. I want to say it's just beyond the, like, blue terracotta pillar here. I want to say it's 1 block further, and I would be correct to assume that, yes. You're bringing it 1 further than this blue terracotta pillar inside of the blue wall. As a side note, you will actually connect into that blue terracotta pillar with those blocks of the row. Just because that's lower than the blue wool, and if we're a block off the blue wool, and the blue terracotta is a block lower than the blue wool, then the blue terracotta will connect to the blue terracotta. Did that make sense? Probably not. It's not supposed to. I figured as I was halfway through that sentence, I would make it as confusing as possible. And, you know, you get the point across, at least, that, you know, it's fine. Unnecessary ramblings. You are going to want to do the same thing on the other side. Now, however you want to mark this is what I'm going to tell you. You can do what I've been doing throughout this, where I'm filling them, where I'm just tracing the direct, like, X coordinate or whatever across. I'm going to do the way I would recommend doing it if you're less comfortable with using coordinates to any capacity. Is just take a corner of it. I'm going to pick this one, bring it across with, say, the Sculk, because, yeah. And once I'm connected to this blue terracotta, or at least diagonally, I'll break this one, place that blue, and I'll just extend it over that 3, because I know that's where it's going to end up being. And I'll just kind of make sure that I get the numbers down correct, so I'll extend down on both sides by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I'll connect not that bottom row, but 1 up across, which almost gives you an uppercase A. That's what I'm looking at least. And again, you'll bring this all the way into the wall. And yeah. Then we'll just have to do the middle, which the middle goes like up a little bit or something like that. That's the one thing I mentioned that would be needed to fit. Because, again, technically if you had to lower it a little bit, you could, but I wouldn't prefer that myself. Although whatever has to be done, I guess. Anyway. I should maybe fill in the top. I was gonna fill on the other side, but I think that leaving the top for last is not smart. So, can I not do that? Anyway. Now, for lack of better explanations for this, on both sides, you're going to basically repeat these A's, and you're going to go up diagonally inward a row each time. And so you can basically see, if you just take a flat end and just continue to place these rows of 5 blue that are a block higher and in, you want to do this a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times? Kind of. So, no, I guess, yeah, never mind, it would be. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There is no kind of. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, oh god, 8, and then 9. And again, you'll want the full A. I'm just doing that front line so I can get it marked properly. I almost just made that number 9 instead of the other one. That would have not been right. That's 5 there. 6, 7, 8, 9, and then there you go. And again, I gotta fill it back now. Best part. Not really. Oh, I filled way too low there. And yeah. And then once you're at that point, you just, because I might as well say it now, you do want to connect the like tops of these together just straight across. No more diagonals or anything, just directly. Hopefully that makes enough sense. If not, you'll see what I mean in a second. I just gotta get there. Wow, I'm really bad at placing these blocks. Alright. And so again, if I literally just take these A's and trace them across, they should connect perfectly, ideally. And as long as you can fit this within your world height limit, you should be fine. If you can't, try to note just like where... If you can't even fit the top, as long as you can fit the bottom, which I would hope you can, because it's only a block higher than anything else we would have done up to this point. At least up to this part. Because I'm more so worried about with the Jumbotron height. Trying to explain where that'll be marked, but that won't be yet. I've got other stuff to do first. That'll definitely be later, because I think I do want to maybe start marking the lights in this part, I'm not sure. But I want to get some of that boring stuff done. Because we'll have like the boring stuff, then the specific details, and then end with more boring stuff. Anyway, there you go. You should end up with that. If you want to pump out the like diagonals a little bit, I didn't end up making them thicker, but generally I do. I just didn't care or something like that for this one. Alright, it's time to mark and do all of the lights. So get out the following. You want black stone walls, granite slabs, and sea lanterns. So we're going to start by marking at least one row of them, or probably two actually, and then we'll go from there. So I want to use the beam that has the, again, raised center, because I feel like this is going to just be easier to mark with on the underside. So make sure you're looking towards the stage for this, and you want to be on technically either the right or left side, but I'm going to start with the right because you're going to have to do this from both anyway. You're going to, on this, out of the like, I guess, indented part on the bottom here, you're going to be on the row closer to the stage, which is the back row. And you're going to count to the third blue over, where you're just going to place 2 black stone walls extending down. You then want to leave a gap of 11. And on the 12th block, you'll do the same. And then you want to, yet again, leave a gap of 11, and on the 12th block, 2 walls down. And that's all you want to do. You just need the 3. And again, do the same on the like left side of this beam. So third block out, 2 walls, and then 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 3, 6, 9, 12, and on that 12 here, bring the walls down. And yeah, that's as far as we'll need to go in general for these. So yeah. The next thing I'm going to tell you to do is either a beam forward or a beam backward, doesn't really matter. Replicate the 6 walls you just placed. So what I'm actually going to do is, you can technically use like the beams up here and say, okay, yeah, this is the second blue in from this beam, so I'll place the black stone walls going down here on the back. But what I'm actually going to do is I'm just going to like note the Z coordinates here, which are 82 and 70. Basically, as you see, I move left to right along this pillar. The Z coordinate is changing, which is that last one. So whatever that coordinate is on these particular blocks is important, and then if you just trace it the rest of the way, you'll see then bam, it goes there as well. And I'll do the same for the other side, and I can hopefully remember all 3. Okay, yeah, should have that hopefully in my brain. 91, 79, and then the final one is there. Nice. From this point on this beam, you kind of want to do the same thing going in. Now, the one thing I will point out is the Atrium has a 2-block center. So, just do the gaps. 3, 4, 5, 12, 3, 6, 9, 12. And I think you'll have to bring it in 3 on either side, if I'm correct. And they'll connect on that final one, and you'll see what I mean when you get there. So that's 1, 2, 3. And you'll see you'll have these 2 walls in the center. That is correct, and that is what you want. So I just want to make sure which beams we don't want to be doing all of this on, because there's a couple that have exceptions to this. If you went forward, you won't want this, actually. So let's just mark all the walls to start. Basically, again, so from the raised row, that one's got all of them. The one behind it has all of them. Same with this next one, but the one closest to the stage is missing the middle 3 lights, actually. So again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to note just one coordinate for this one, which is going to be that 70. And I'll mark it here, and then I'll just do the counting for the rest, because I just find that to be easier. And you can actually use the... Did I go too far there? No. You can use the, like, blue terracotta we brought across earlier as a cheat code. Because you can see here, I'm about in the center of it, so I'll want to double up there. And you can also use the... Hold on. You can just take this end core and you see this is 91, and I can trace it to this one and see, yes, okay, also 91. Sorry, so the front one is... Do you have one off either side? I don't believe so. No, it's just the middle 3 are missing. And if you want, actually, what might be easier just for the sake of... for the sake of me finding my words... You can just place all of them and then punch out the ones that you don't need. As I tell you. Because I'm going to do that on this row just so I can go across directly like I currently am. And yeah, the trick to me right now for counting them is I count by 3s. And essentially, it's stupid. Like, okay, that was too close. But I can count the amount of 3s that I'm counting rather than the actual number. And the reason I like doing that is so essentially in a situation like this where I still want to ramble in the tutorial, I can still count while I'm also talking. And yeah, it just makes it easier to almost multi-focus, but I'm not, because I'm not technically counting the numbers. So again, on this back one, I'm gonna just punch out this one, the center one, and the one to the right. But I'm not actually counting anything. The only thing that I'm really paying attention to is how much I am, like, roughly counting over. And I can essentially not focus on the counting and just almost look back at the amount of threes that I'm counting. It's hard to explain because, like, I know that's 4 threes there, but it's not because I'm counting each individual three. It's because I'm just, like, getting a rough feel for how much I'm placing. I skipped one, didn't I? Wait, did I do that wrong? No, that looks aligned. I should really take count of the middle one. I don't know, I count weird though. I've just found that through all of my Minecraft building that counting by threes is best for some reason. I'm a block off. That's good. Where did I extra? Let me check the center. 31, 32. Yep, I'm off there. I can already just see from the shadow. Thanks, Vibrant Visuals. Appreciate that. Is it here? No, it's not. Is it here? No, it's not. Is it here? No. What? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Did I just start off by a block? I did. Okay, that's good. But anyway, on this particular road that I'm doing, which is in front of the like funny slanted row, the only one that is missing is maybe none of them actually. This might be the one. Nope, this one has the center one missing. So I'm gonna place the center and then immediately get rid of it because I actually already have this side marked, so it doesn't matter. And then the very front row has none of them missing. Alrighty, so from this point, the way that I'm going to explain this will actually work for both the double wides and the singular ones. So below each blackstone wall, you're going to place a granite. Off of those granites, you'll have a granite slab on each side to kind of almost border it. Below each of those granite slabs, you'll have another granite and then an upside down granite slab. And both the upside down slab and the block you'll fill in on the corners. In the bottom, whatever gap is open in between the upside down slabs, you'll place a sea lantern. And so again, for the single ones, it looks like this, and for the double ones, again, just to repeat myself, granite under both, granite slabs surrounding those, but not in the corners, granite blocks, and then upside down slabs below each slab. The upside down slabs and blocks will be placed on the corners, and then sea lanterns at the bottom center. It looks like this for the doubles. And my recommendation here is to structure block one of these lights. And the way that I'm going to do this is... Where am I going to go? Is it 2 down? It is 2 down. And you can essentially make it so you're like on the perimeter. So I can just do this 5 by 5. That's fine. And then label it G. And if I go load and copy it like that, I can also get out a redstone block. And so essentially what you're going to end up doing is the way that I did it is I'll count over 2 and then I'll place one like there. That was a block too high. There. And so, yeah, you're going to want to fill all of these. This will take a minute for sure. However, it'll give you a finished result. So I don't know why this is also placing 2 structure blocks. I don't know where the second one came from, but it's there. Maybe I added it when I was placing it down just because, and I didn't remove it before I saved the file or something weird, but it's there, alright. Another way that you can also speed this up is once you have a full row placed, you can actually just copy the row entirely, or at least as much as you can with a structure block file, because I do realize the Atrium is longer than 64 blocks. And then from there, you can just place the file fully. But anyway, that's what a row of them looks like. And again, don't forget about those gaps. Just to reiterate, first row is clear. The second row back has just the middle one open. Third one doesn't have any in the middle. That's that weird one with just the 3 on the sides. Fourth and fifth are both perfectly fine. And the back one, or the sixth, has the middle one missing along with the one left and right of it. So, yeah, but once you've done that, ladies and gentlemen, that is your security breach Atrium part, whatever, complete again. Make sure to finish those lights, and for next part, we'll start by doing more lights, actually. And then I think... It's hard. We have such a weird amount of stuff left. We might actually start with the Jumbotron, because that's going to take the most time out of what's left. And depending on how long the Jumbotron takes, this will either be split into 2 shorter parts, or just 1 long part. But we'll see how it kind of goes. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. If you guys did enjoy this video, have a fantastic rest of your day or night. And I will see you on the next one. Peace.